All right, let's have a look at the third passage, questions 9 to 12. So this is about marshlands and marsh birds particularly, right? It talks about how coastal wetlands, they harbor fish, shellfish, and wading birds, right? And then we discuss more about these birds, how these birds are difficult to spot and therefore they're easier to hear because they're hiding in dense grasses. So what people who are researching on them, what they do is they actually use this callback survey to monitor them. So they play a pre-recorded set of calls and then see whether a bird responds to them or not. And then when the bird responds, they see from where this sound is coming, from what kind of ecosystem, and it measures various characteristics of the birds based on this, right? Then we talk about a particular kind of bird, clapper rails, right? A particular kind of marsh birds, clapper rails. We describe them in the passage. Then we talk about where they typically live. They typically live in tidal marshes where there is vegetation to hide in. We also discuss how how they prey on their food there, how they survive whenever there is, let's say, some flooding, how they protect themselves from predators, what do they do when a storm comes, right? So we discuss all these factors in this passage. So an easy read, not a difficult read. Let's have a look at the questions. Question 12. Each of the following statements can be inferred from the passage except which one? A. Marsh birds are more often heard than seen. B. Marsh birds respond to calls. Marsh birds are more productive places for finding marshlands, are more productive places for finding marsh birds. Have I compared marshlands to some other places? I don't remember reading about other places in the passage. We'll have to check perhaps. D. Coastal wetlands act as a bulwark. So a bulwark is basically a protective wall, okay, against something. So coastal wetlands act as a bulwark against flooding. Let's go to the site where coastal wetlands have been talked about. So let's verify various facts and then we can decide. Okay, so the first paragraph does talk about coastal wetlands. They are critically important ecosystems. They harbor fish, shellfish, and wading birds, filter water as it flows through, and buffer coastlines against flooding. They provide a buffer to coastlines against flooding, right? So, yes, they act as a bulwark against flooding. This part is true, right? Then, when we talk about marsh birds, we say that it is more common to hear them than to see them. More common to hear them than to see them. So, yes, they are difficult to spot. Also, what do these experimenters do? They play a pre-recorded set of calls to elicit responses from birds in the marsh. Okay, and then they do respond and they record various facts about them. So that means yes, they do respond to calls. Yes. So if I look at my options now, I have seen that three of them are true. Yes. So marsh birds are more often heard than seen. They respond to calls. Both are true. Even this is true. So what cannot be inferred is C, that they are more productive places for finding marsh birds. We haven't talked about any other place in the passage. Right? So through elimination, this could be done pretty easily.